This video came to me when I was walking. When it gets right down to it, we don't have anybody with us. Nobody will be on our side. Nobody understands us. Is that a pessimistic thing that I'm saying? No, it's truth. It's a deep realization. What do I mean though? I have to explain, right? This topic came with some power today. Usually when I come out, I have a few videos, titles in my mind, and then I make it. But this just came to me when I was walking. And this isn't for everybody, you see. Now, the average mainstream person, it's basically a video. See, there's levels to this game. It's an evolutionary journey. You have, which you can say collective mainstream level. They're like a mosquito. Looks like there's a bunch of mosquitoes, but really there's just one mosquito. It's like one mosquito body. Okay, it's mainstream. And then you have individuals. They've transcended collective level, mainstream, and now they're really working on their individual karma. They have their own ideas and perceptions about things. They're not just part of the whole machine. That's individual. Then you have transpersonal. Transpersonal, you can say those beings, they have self-realization on some level. They've realized the one source, the one self. It's not an intellectual thing. See, a lot of mainstream, they think they've also realized the self. The individuals, they're more honest. Oh yeah, I want to say this too. Because I get comments sometimes. I've seen comments in other channels, but on my channel, I'll take care of it. They're like, man, what's wrong? Basically, I'm paraphrasing. Like, what's wrong with me? Like, why can't I get this? Like, I don't know. I don't know what the people I'm watching appear to know. Like, what's wrong with me? And I'm like, man, there's nothing wrong with you. You're in a higher state than a lot of these people you're watching that are imagining they've awoke. You're at least honest with yourself. See, that's individual. Like you can't lie to yourself and pretend anymore. The collectives are all pretending. The mainstream, mosquito population, they're like pretending. And they don't know they're pretending. They're pretending that they don't know they're pretending. That's a stage. You see why it takes more than a few lifetimes to really come into the deeper, subtle realizations? Can't do that in one lifetime. A lot of these people that imagine they're awake later, they're going to find out like, damn, I don't know anything. They're going to be like the individual who's already saying they don't know. You see how that's higher level? When you don't know and you admit you don't know, you're admitting truth, because the one that's saying it don't know can't know. How can the human mind, mental construct, know self-realization? It can't know it. It's impossible. It's like a little baby knowing like their grandfather or something. Like the baby is just like, it doesn't have the capacity to know. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but it's pointing to what I'm trying to say. So you come into this not knowing, and then all of a sudden something knows. The knowing starts to come through you. But there's not you that knows it. That's the trap. And that's what can take lifetimes to undo, is that trap, that ego trap of knowing. Like, I know something, I'm awake. There's nobody there to claim that. You don't know anything. I used to not understand what that meant, because that was a spiritual principle that I would hear. Like, just don't know anything. Yeah, but what do you mean, man? I don't know anything? Like, of course, I know some things. There's an appearance of knowing some things. But when you give your life up and surrender, especially when it comes to this spiritual knowledge, something realizes that the self that you took yourself to be so long, the mental construct self, it can't know these things because these things are higher than the mind. You got to be at a higher vantage point to know something. So something realizes, it's like, whoa, when I'm out of the picture, there's a knowingness that just flows. But there's nobody there to claim it. Because as soon as you claim it, you lose the power. And when you don't know, it also means that you've realized life is very spontaneous. I can make a video saying what I'm saying, and then maybe another time I'll say something else, and then it'll look like I'm contradicting myself. No, I'm in the flow. I don't know who. See, God knows who these videos are for. When I'm making these videos, I check out, switch off, and then I say whatever I say. And somebody can say, well, you sound like you know what you're talking about. Maybe some will say that. Maybe some will say the opposite. Mainstream will say the opposite because I shake their ego up. I don't try to, though. That's the thing. So somebody may say, well, you sound like you know what you're talking about. So if I say, but I really don't know, what am I saying? It means like something is being shared and expressed, but like I can't claim it. There's nobody here to claim what's being expressed. Something's just flowing like this. You know, a lot of these elite, anybody that's elite in anything, athletes, music, movie director, actors, a lot of their lives are a wreck on a personal level. But when they're doing their thing, the gate's open. Man, they're channeling. Some of these rappers, for example, the mainstream will say, oh, but they talk, that's not spiritual. They're talking about bad things, hoes and guns. But if you like get rid of that judgment and concept and you listen to how that flow, man, they're not there. You think they're doing that? That is flowing. That's a real flow. So you can say the path to self-realization is when that can flow into our normal everyday life. That's what that is. For example, I'm making videos, flows. If I'm talking to customer service reps on the phone, like robots, like just there's no space, there's no creativity, nothing. It's like they're reading a script all the time. Okay, it's a little difficult to flow. You see, we all have our limitations and weaknesses, so to speak. Do I feel bad about it? No, because it's not me anyway. The me that's flowing is not me. The me that can get tripped up in certain life situations, that's also not me. There's not a little me that's claiming that stuff. That's how you avoid guilt and shame. But don't get in trouble and let the mind come in and start playing that spiritual role, saying, oh yeah, there's no me and there's nothing exists. And then that can be a justification and rationalization so that you don't look at yourself. You don't allow the flow, which wants to continuously work on the human level with this constant refinement, heading towards perfection but never reaching. You see, that's important. That's the balance that I keep trying to address in the whole non-dual, Advaita world, self-inquiry, etc. Because these teachings are so easy to the mind takes it and uses it for its own egoic purposes. So you got to catch that out. I started out making a video, see, flowing. I wanted to talk about how really nobody. I made a video before, like we're all alone or something. I wanted to. It's like a part 2 to that. But I feel like that's a separate video because we're already at almost 9 minutes. And I ended up talking about, I don't know, I got to watch it and see so I know what title to put. So I'm going to make a separate video. I'm going to attempt again to say what I wanted to say. All right? I mean, obviously I said what I wanted to say here too, but I want to fulfill my little agenda I had. Yeah. Okay. I'll see you soon.